Plex today have announced a new pricing structure, $750 for their lifetime pass. Now that is a chunk of change, especially for self-hosted, bring your own files software. But I actually don't think the weird part is the $750. I think the weird part is that the lifetime piece of it stayed so cheap for so long, actually. Because clearly this is about recurring revenue, and that's what businesses need to be sustainable, right? You know, you look at the monthly revenue that they're getting from their subscriptions, and we've seen Unraid recently switch to a subscription model. I mean, this all started 10, 15 years ago with Adobe, and just gradually that screw just keeps tightening. And I know we're all fed up with subscriptions. So I actually kind of want to give some kudos to Plex here for not killing the lifetime pass, which they say in their own blog post, they even considered killing it completely. So weirdly, even though it's $750, I'm glad it still exists. So as of July 1st, 2026, that price is going to go up to $750. The current price is $250. So you've got, what's that, 6 weeks or so from today to get a bargain of an upgrade, I suppose. Existing lifetime users are grandfathered in, and monthly and annual pricing stays the same, as does the current remote watch pricing. Easy for me to say. That stays the same as well. So the maths here isn't completely insane, because monthly it's about $7. So, you know, over the lifespan of a media aficionado such as myself, you know, the ROI even on $750 is only, I can't believe I'm trying to make this case, it's only 9 years, right? Which is still a long time, but I can empathize with it. You know, I paid for Plex in 2014, and I paid $75 for my lifetime pass. So I would already be in the green had it been $750 back then. There's no way as a poor student I would have been able to afford to pay $750. And so obviously the monthly option would be me. And then every month you pay, it's like you're paying twice, because you're then eating into what you would have paid for the lifetime. I understand. It's not a great situation. So it'd be kind of cool if, and I don't even know how they would implement this from a billing perspective, but every month you paid into your subscription, it took that amount off your like they capped every monthly subscription at, you know, 9 years worth of payments, or $750 worth of payments, or whatever it is. Because, you know, you look at the industry, and there's another option around here called Roon. I don't know if you've heard of Roon, but they do a self-hosted, bring your own files sort of music streaming option. It kind of behaves a little bit like Sonos or Spotify Connect, where you can select remote speakers and beam your music and your own files, I might add. It's not like you're paying Spotify or Tidal for access to all the music that's ever been made in the whole world, with all of the ethical concerns there are around how Spotify operates, of course. But what Roon does is they charge a monthly fee, or they let you pay $830 for a lifetime pass, which just went up massively, I think, last year or the year before. So maybe someone at Plex Towers noticed that pricing and looked at the audio files over here and went, $750. That's less. I don't know. But like $750 is less. It's way less than even a single employee's salary would be for, you know, for a software dev or something like that for a single month. I appreciate it raises the barrier to entry massively for people that want to build a Plex media server that has premium features like hardware transcoding, remote watch together, all that stuff that's behind the Plex Pass. I appreciate this from that angle. Really sucks. But as I say, I think the reason it sucks harder for us looking at this news from the outside now is because the price increases are just massive, going from $250 to $750. That's a big change. But Plex operate a service. Maybe you don't realize it, but they do. They operate a cloud service. They operate the cloud authentication. Whether you like it or not is a different discussion, but they operate it for free to every Plex user. That also includes things like server discovery. So when you share the Plex server with your friends, that stuff all goes through Plex's infrastructure. And then you're also paying, I suppose, for the fit and finish and polish across all of the different client infrastructures that they have. TVs, game consoles, phones, weird little streaming boxes that they support too. That ecosystem, you might think that the media server is the product, but actually, I think the ecosystem that Plex has is their killer product. And so, whilst it's fashionable to hate on Plex a little bit, I kind of get it. I've criticised Plex plenty myself over the years, mostly for how they treat their audience. Like, where is audiobook support? Where is it? I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll come one day, but it certainly isn't coming in their list of improvements yet. And it's been one of the highest voted features on their forums that they ask for feedback on, by the way, for many, many, many years at this point. So maybe, Plex, if you're watching, I don't know, maybe your user base would be a little less hostile to you if you were a bit more open in return with us and implemented some of the features that we have been literally asking for a decade plus at this point. So what happens now? Well, I suppose some of you are going to switch to Jellyfin, the magic J word, or MB. But have you considered that we live in the age of bespoke software these days? You can take any open source project that exists, or even just plain old FFmpeg if you want to, and stick that into Claude Code or Codex or the coding agent of your choice. I actually heard somebody call hand coding. I heard them call that boomer coding the other day. I think I like that one. So you can either boomer code your way to a new solution to replace Plex for your needs, or you can vibe code your own solution, because we live in the age of bespoke software these days. And so proprietary software has to justify itself harder than ever. And so when I look at the Plex blog post where they talk about some of their roadmap, I actually find some of their things kind of interesting. They talk about how they're going to improve the download experience, allowing you to group them by show, auto downloading of new episodes, and do things like playlist creation in the mobile apps. They also say that music and photo libraries are coming back properly to the mobile app experience. Okay, fine. I don't really know why they took them out in the first place, but better late than never, I suppose. They say they're going to have a better TV app experience as well as Enfo metadata support. Don't they already have that? I thought they already had Enfo support. I guess not. And also, this one's kind of interesting, more server and library management in mobile apps. There's a bunch of other stuff to do with transcoding improvements and IPv6 support as well. And some of that stuff is genuinely useful. Like, the only reason I go to app.plex.tv is to deal with sharing and to deal with library, like adding new folders or making, there's been an issue with remote access or something. Those are the kind of boring quality of life things that actually matter, and they're the reason why I still use Plex after all these years. Yes, I've still got a Jellyfin server as well, but Plex brings it all together, and you're paying for that fit and finish and polish. Yes, I could put a reverse proxy on a VPS and connect it back through Tailscale or whatever to my house and have my Jellyfin server shared out to the world that way with friends and family. And yes, I could build my own Roku TV clients, and like, that's what you're paying for. It's a business. Development is expensive, it's painful, and actually, for once, I'm not mad at Plex for raising the prices. It's a very weird set of emotions going on in here this afternoon. But I actually respect them more for doing it this way than trying to pretend that it was going to work any other way. It might be the most honest version of Plex that we've ever seen.